Okay, for the D tier, we have quite a lot of bad bloodlines here, and I'm not going to go into detail on every single one of these bloodlines, but I am going to highlight a couple that I do want to talk about, and one of the most notable ones is going to be Vengeance. Now, Vengeance is kind of a good one for PvP. There is a couple of good moves in Vengeance that you can use to kind of combo in PvP, but really anything outside of comboing, this bloodline really doesn't have any good benefit. You're not going to really do any good boss scroll missions, green scroll missions, and that's the same sort of deal with Jokai as well. Now, don't get me wrong, Jokai is a good PvP bloodline, but really the base version of Jokai is not that good. Golden Jokai is a little bit better, so that's why it's a little higher on this list, but Jokai is kind of a decent one. The next one I want to talk about is going to be Blood. Now, Blood is a kind of an underrated one in my opinion. Even though I put it in the D tier, it does have one good stun, which is kind of good, so do keep that in mind. Web has a good travel move, so it has one of the best travel moves in the entire game, so if you want to pick up Web for that, Muzu, which is the purple one with the atomic symbol on it, if that is what it is correct. But anyways, that bloodline is really good. It has one good combo move that you can do with that. Let's see here. Renshiki is kind of alright. That's a decent bloodline. Then we have Light Jokai and the other versions of Jokai, which are pretty good. Don't get me wrong, they're not awful, but definitely not the best. We've got Vine, Ghost Kirashi, Cobra, a lot of these, Eternal, a lot of these are just, they're somewhat decent. They're not really that good. Bolt does have one good stun move. Bolt is really good for stunning, so you might want to pick it up for that. But anyways, let's go into the C tier. So the C tier is looking a little bit interesting here because we've got quite a few bloodlines. So we've got a couple of them I'm going to highlight. One of them is going to be Kaguku. Kaguku is really good. I would say not the best, but we do have Shindai Rengoku, which is the ramen version, which is really good. That one is really good as well. We got Ran Hiesling, which is a really good damage bloodline. So that bloodline does a ton of damage. Same as Boramaki. Boramaki is really good for kind of PvP and damage. So you might want to get that if you're looking for a PvP bloodline. So that one's a really good one. We've got Golden Jokai here. And of course, we know Golden Jokai is really good for that stun. So really good for that PvP. So I really only picked this up if you do a lot of PvP, because this is a great addition to your kit, especially if you're doing a lot of PvP and that's really the only thing you're doing. No green scroll missions, no boss scroll missions, because honestly, this is not a great green scroll boss scroll missions. This is exclusively for PvP, so just keep that in mind. We've got Shadow. I was going to put it higher, but really, given that it's only good for boss killing, I didn't really want to put it any higher than that because I felt like that would be a little bit not right, because if it's only good for boss killing, the S tier really is going to be bloodlines that focus on the best for every category: boss killing, green score missions, and PvP. But Shadow is one I definitely recommend picking up. Definitely don't skip on Shadow. It's essential, especially if you're leveling up in Shindo life. So you're not going to want to miss that one out. We've got Naramaki. Now Naramaki is a really good one. That's why it's going in the high C tier. So that one is really good. We've got Akuma, which is kind of an underrated one. And then another underrated one that a lot of people use, especially in PvP, is going to be Pico Senko. Now Pico Senko has one of the best travel moves in the entire game. And if you don't want to pick it up just for the travel move, you can also pick it up for the capabilities of its second move or its first move. It's either one of those, but it's really good at that targeting move, which does a ton of damage, especially if you use this in PvP. So we've got Ashen Storm here, super high damage with this bloodline, really good at kind of just doing some crowd control, really good for boss scroll missions. The form is kind of bad, kind of like Vengeance, the form is kind of hit and miss, so do keep that in mind, but its moves do a ton of damage. We also have Snake Man. Now Snake Man is a really good one that a lot of people don't talk about. Its moves are really good. Its form, it's alright, kind of just alright. The other one we have here is gonna be let's see here, what else do we have? Iron Sand, which is another good one. Now, like I said, this is another one that's gonna be specific for boss killing, so you're not gonna want to pick this one up if you're looking for anything else but boss killing. It has one good move, which I think is in its form. It's either in its form or if it's other moves. I'm not exactly sure, but you're going to want to pick this one up if you're looking for boss killing, because that's kind of what this one does really good. So that's going to wrap it up for the C tier. Let's go into the B tier. So we got a good amount of bloodlines here, and this is where we're kind of getting to the tier that is really good, so do keep that in mind. Let's see here. So we got Xeno Dokai. Xeno Dokai is still pretty good for boss killing, and his form is pretty good as well. We've got Headless, which is really good. We already know that. And then we got Sengoku with after the rework. It's now really good. And of course we've got Rengoku, which is kind of an underrated bloodline in my opinion. Really good, and a lot of people don't really use that bloodline, which is kind of unfortunate. We got Satori Rengoku, which is a really good one. We got Riser Akuma. A lot of Akumas in this tier, because a lot of Akumas are really good. We'll see in the next tier, in the A tier, where a lot of these Akumas are really busted, and we'll see that a little bit later on to the tier list. But let's focus on the B tier for right now. Let's see, we've got another Akuma at the top of B tier, so the number 1. I forgot exactly the name of this one, but it's really good. So you just have to take my word for that. So that one is really good. So that's going to wrap it up for the B tier. Let's go into the A tier. So we've got kind of the best right now. Of course, I already will give a quick disclaimer. Number 1 is going to be Rel Games Bloodline. It's going to be the Rel Bloodline. It's the best bloodline in the entire game. So if you see it at the end of Minakaze, I just didn't put it in the number 1. So it is the best bloodline in the entire game. So just don't be worried about that. It might be in number 1 and kind of might be at the end, but just know it's the number 1 bloodline. But anyways, for the A tier, we have Strange Bloodline, which has one of the best mode forms in the entire game. We have Benkai Akuma, which is a really solid bloodline that a lot of people don't really use anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. Then we have the top, which is the best, I would say the best Akuma in the entire game. Definitely pick that one up. We got Davy Sengoku, which is really good. We got Shindai Akuma. If I'm saying that name right, it's basically a worser Code Gaiden, so do keep that in mind. But this, you're gonna really want to get most of these bloodlines in A tier. But let's go on to S tier. So this is the best of the best bloodlines. Bloodlines you do not want to avoid getting, of course. The best bloodline in Shindo Life, excluding the Rel bloodline, because that's the best bloodline. That's gonna be Code Gaiden. Everybody uses this bloodline. If you get it, don't spin it off. Or if you have the bloodline bag, keep it, because this bloodline is really busted. It's the best bloodline in the entire game. And of course we have Minakaze, which Minakaze is busted. It's one of the best bloodlines. If you saw it in like A or B tier, I think those are just copies. So Minakaze is going into the S tier. It's a phenomenal bloodline. Then we've got Aizen and Getsuya, which Getsuya is really good. Both of the versions, the blue and the red one. Getsuya is really good. I would definitely not pass up on Getsuya because it is a busted bloodline. So we also have Aizen in here, which Aizen is another really good one. One that you really don't want to miss. So do keep that in mind. Aizen is really good. A lot of people don't really use this one, and I do want to emphasize that Minakaze is more on the PvP side. It's not really a bloodline that you're going to use for story mode a lot. So do keep that in mind. So you're going to really want to use Minakaze for PvP, but like I said before, I'm ranking these in kind of the S tiers, kind of be the PvP story mode and quest side. So that one kind of hits all those bars because its form is pretty good. It doesn't, I don't think it has, I think it has custom M1s. So this form is absolutely busted. But like I said before, Code Gaiden is just the number 1 pick. It probably will always be the pick even after the nerfs and buffs that we saw this update. It is still a phenomenal pick. So that's going to be the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.